to teach you a hack on how to set up a home gym hyperextension machine. It's not a machine gonna be, but it's gonna be like a really good setup. So in a way, actually, after I started doing this, I learned this from my coach, Brett Contreras, and after I started doing this, I actually prefer it to the actual machine. So yeah, try it out and see how you like it. So you're going to set up the bar really low, okay? Make sure you're gonna kind of figure out according to your height where it needs to be, but you want it to be so that you have enough room to hinge, okay? Now you're going to take the spongy that you use for your hip thrusts and you're going to put it on here. All right. Now, the reason I'm doing this on this side is because of how my squat rack is set up. If I were to do it on this side, I would probably hit the mirror. Don't want to do that. Also, it happens to be very convenient because I have this little step here, which kind of gives me like the counter that I'm looking for. If I was doing it on the other side, I would probably set up like a step here. Some sort of like, I don't know, maybe an aerobic step or something. Okay, so from here, I'm going to, and you should know it's very counterintuitive. Like once you start at first, you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna fall over, but you're not gonna fall over. Like it just seems that way, but once you get a few reps, then you're gonna be like, oh, it's all good. So come right here, set up your feet like that, you see? And of course, make sure that your hooks are on that side, because you're gonna see that if I was to try and lean from this side, I would have to set them up the other way, or else the bar would come rolling off the hooks, and that would not be good. So, got a good setup, and say you're doing prisoner, right? Prisoner hyperextensions mean that your hands are up here. Okay, so let's pretend it's a prisoner. So you're coming here. Let's say you're doing it not prisoner, just body weight, and you're crossover with your arms and your chest, and you hinge and you come up. God, I love this exercise. It's such a great exercise for your glutes and hammies. Now, if you are doing it with a dumbbell, right, you're holding it close to your chest and you're coming up. Now, something that's really important is, so I end up always doing most exercise glute dominant just because I love training my glutes. So technically with a hyperextension machine, a lot of people come up like that, which I guess technically like that's what it's like made for, right? Like hyperextending your back. It's really supposed to work your back. I do like utilizing my coach's method, which is glute emphasis. So what you do is you kind of flare your feet out, right? And instead of coming up in a completely straight line with your legs, your back ends up being kind of hunched. This is going to be one of the only exercises that I tell you to hunch over your back. What this does is it really further engages your glutes. And I want you to also think of thrusting your hips into the sponge every time you come up. And there's almost like this little slight bend in your knees when you do it, okay? So here's what it's gonna look like. You're holding the dumbbell close to your heart and you're coming up like that. Okay? So I hope you find this helpful, and that is that.